for a debut as far as Pause for Thought is concerned. Gina Awad. Gina, good morning.
Good morning, Tim.
Very nice to have you here.
Thank you.
Thank you for getting up early.
Yes, it was a struggle, I must say.
Well, I know, it goes with the territory, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Now, let's just explain who you are, because you have one or two things after your name, one of which is that you are the Dementia Friends Champion of 2016.
Yes, I was. Yeah, that was the Alzheimer's Society award. So, yeah, I won that.
And that, obviously, for your work in that field, which is something that we at BBC Radio Devon are very interested in.
I know you're really passionate. I saw Fitz recently a couple of events around dementia. So, yeah, which is brilliant.
And how did you find your interest in that subject?
I was doing my degree in health and social care, which I graduated in last year. So about 3 years in, I chose a module of dementia. And I trained as a counsellor anyway in the past, so I'd had an interest in the human mind and relationships and people and things. And somebody said to me, because I got really passionate about it, somebody said, you know, you're doing all this stuff voluntary, because I was at that point. What drives you? And I sort of had to really think about it. So I reflected over time, and I remembered that when I was about 7 or 8, I used to go into care homes with my grandmother, who used to do creative arts with the residents. And back then, I remember just being, even at that young age, really aware of the residents that weren't engaged in the creative arts. And those were kind of dotted around the periphery, looking kind of quite scary from the perspective of a 7 or 8 year old. And I realise now that they were living with dementia.
Yeah.
But back then, which we're talking over 40 years ago, you know, people were kind of left, and very little was understood about dementia. So I think that stayed with me, and that kind of ignited when I was doing my degree.
Very good.
And then from then on, I went on to train as a dementia champion.
Oh, well, that's fascinating. Thank you for explaining that. Now, it's time for Pause for Thought with Gina Awad.
People can still live well with dementia. This is one of the 5 key messages of the Alzheimer's Society's trailblazing social action movement, Dementia Friends. In the UK, there are over 2.5 million Dementia Friends, and this is now a global movement that is changing the way people act, think, and talk about dementia. Anyone of any age can be a Dementia Friend, whether you attend a face-to-face Dementia Friends information session or watch the video. Dementia Friends is learning more about dementia and the small ways you can help. Dementia is a complex disease that affects everyone differently, but as a society, we need to understand more about it in order to transform perceptions. Over the past 4 years, I have delivered over 110 Dementia Friends sessions in my community and reached almost 1,700 individuals. This has made a significant difference. Let me share some of the responses I've received here as a result of delivering my sessions. One person said, "I had no idea that younger people could get dementia. I thought it was only older people." Somebody else said, "Thank you for explaining that dementia affects the senses too. I really did not know that." And somebody else said, "Thank you so much for delivering this session. I feel so much more informed now and will view dementia in a totally different way." Dementia Friends is one of the routes to learn more about the disease, but there are others too. Search for your local Dementia Action Alliance and learn more. People can live well with dementia, but it takes a societal response to make a lasting impact. Awareness of dementia is not enough. It is action, meaningful engagement, and compassion that will embed lasting change. As Wendy Mitchell, living with dementia, quotes in her book, somebody I used to know, "A dementia diagnosis does not mean the end. There is a beginning and a middle too, and a whole lot of life to be lived in between."
Thank you very much, Gina. Gina Awad with our Pause for Thought all this week.